Welcome back to another episode of the Bull and The Cub podcast. I'm your host, David.
And I'm the co-host, also David, David's dad. All right, so here we go with another episode, kind of related to last week. We're going to talk this week about inflation. Right? Last week we did tariffs, and this week we're going to talk about inflation, which is kind of tied to it. But what is inflation, David?
Well, inflation is when prices of things increase and becoming more expensive to buy. This is a big problem because when prices go up, your money is worth less, which makes it much harder for people. For example, if you were spending $90 on groceries each week, now, a couple weeks before this, and now you have to pay $100 a week, that'll add up.
Right, that's right. That's a good example, right? If you spend $90 a week on groceries, now you spend $100. That's about a 10% increase in your groceries. That's a 10% increase in inflation there. Now, if you make the same amount of money, maybe you make $100 a week, and you used to spend $90, you got $10 left over to go buy some Pokemon cards or buy some other things, go to the movies, but now if all your groceries go up to $100. And you make $100, you don't have any money left over. So what's that done to the value of your money? Is it going up or down?
Well, it makes the value of money go down.
Right. As the price of things go up, the value of your money goes down. And that's a problem. So what are some things that cause inflation?
Well, one reason of inflation, which we were talking about a lot last video, were tariffs.
That's right. Tariffs increase is an example of the increase of costs and things. Right. That's one way that inflation's caused. What's another way inflation's caused?
Another way inflation is caused is companies are forced to charge more money to pay their employees more, and so they'll charge more money for the product. That's
a good point, right? It's kind of funny. We want people to make more money in this world. That's good for them to make more money. But as they make more money, if minimum wage goes up, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just saying a natural reaction to minimum wage going up or wages in general going up is companies will have to charge more money for product because they've got to now pay more for their employees. And so that's a tough balance we're trying to find in society. So we don't take political positions on this podcast. We just talk about what's the impact on the market. And that's two ways that that inflation's caused, by increase in costs and goods or an increase in wages that people make. They also have more money to pay for things as well. One other thing that's fascinating too, I think we see this recently with we've been on shopping for Pokemon cards lately. Product shortages also bring up cause inflation, because as there's less of a product but a big demand, the price will go up, right? So we see that. We saw that recently. What happens when you go to buy Pokemon cards lately?
Well, basically, when you go buy Pokemon, there's either none, or you hear something crazy happen. This one employee was telling us their UPS and FedEx packages were being stolen and ripped open for the Pokemon cards inside, because people buy 500 of these boxes of Pokemon cards and resell them for double the price.
That's right. So when there's not enough of a product compared to the demand for the product, right, the price of that product goes up. We saw the same with the housing prices before, after COVID, right, when there wasn't enough houses to match the demand for houses, and so the cost of houses went up. All things that contribute to inflation. So how does that impact the market? Why do we care about inflation? This idea of the cost of things going up. Why does that matter to the market?
Well, basically, when the price of things go up, people will end up spending less money.
Right.
Which will mean the market will go down.
Right. If people have less money to spend, are companies going to make as much profits or make as much revenue? Probably not, right? Yeah. All right. So there's not a lot I see in the news. I think we can get to our game, David, because there's not a lot in the news this week besides just continuing what we saw last week, which is the tariffs have been hot topic, inflationary concerns. That's what's been going on in the market. That's why we wanted to talk about inflation this week. You want to get back to our game and recap?
Yeah. let's talk about your Costco because I think I won this one even though I didn't do so good. I basically kept around the same amount for Palantir. It was jumping up and down throughout the week, so it wasn't like it stayed the same. But in the end, it was around the same. Let's talk about your Costco. You thought it could never go down.
Yes, you're right to give me a hard time because Costco did not do well at all. I was arguing last week that Costco's recession-proof, and I was, clearly wrong. And so Costco took a dive this week. It started at $1,050 a share. It's down to $955 a share. I mean, my goodness, $95 down just this week alone. What's fascinating about Costco is that it went down almost 9% this week, even though it had a positive earnings report this week. Even though its revenue was up and it exceeded expectations for its revenue, but yet the stock goes down 9%. I thought it was recession-proof, but that just really highlights to me this fear with like the tariffs and cost of goods going up, and therefore companies making less profits.
That's another thing. No matter how good your company is it can still always go down. So like we don't be careful like how you're don't dump all your money into Costco if you think it can never go down. I mean, if you're going in the long run, a lot of these companies you should invest in because they're gonna always go up in the long run. But in short term, like my dad just said, it went down 9% this week.
You're right, exactly. That's a good point. You don't ever want to invest all your money in one company because certainly even good companies like Costco can go down. We saw the whole market go down this week. I think you're still in a buy attitude with the market, right? With the market coming down, is that your general buy low, sell high philosophy, David? Are you looking to buy a lot right now?
Yes, because unless something else happens, like a big thing happens that changes the market, the market shouldn't go down anymore because the market already had this thing happening basically, which meant that I feel like a lot of companies are gonna stay at this amount now, but I feel like they're not gonna all go down some more.
All right, so you're predicting we're at the bottom, and if we haven't quite hit the bottom, hopefully we're there soon, but you're in a buy mode. All right, let's talk about the stocks this week. So do you have yours lined up, or do you want me to go first?
I actually have mine, but I'll let you go first.
Okay. All right, so, gosh, I really wanted to go with a golfing stock this week, but I'm going to go with Kava this week. I'm going to go with Kava because I was really mad at myself that I didn't buy into Kava before when it first came out because I love the restaurant. I loved it. It's kind of similar to Chipotle, and it was just great food and it was long lines. And I was like, why didn't I get on this stock early? I mean, early on when it came out, it came out at IPO at like $35 a share, and then took off to about $140 a share. So it was a great stock to buy, but it just absolutely tanked over the last month. It's down $54 over the last month, right down to just at $85 a share right now. So I think that's at a great place to buy because the company's going in a good direction. They're hoping to open 1,000 stores total by in the next 5+ years. So I think they're going in the great direction, going to have good revenue. They've come down so much that I'm trying to get them at a low spot. So I'm going with Kava, certainly as a long-term stock, but even for my game this week. What do you got, Dave?
I'm going to go with, you were saying something about golf. I'm going to go with Callaway because Callaway, if you haven't checked it, it has been going down so much, but it's because of going down. It was at it peaked at $35 a share, and now it's only $6. The only two main reasons it went down was because the entire market was going down, and because Topgolf and Callaway were separating basically. But Topgolf wasn't even close to as big as Callaway, so I feel like it shouldn't have gone down that much. I feel like it will go up again, so that's why I'm picking Callaway.
Boy, I'm jealous of that pick because I'm telling you right now, if I could buy another stock besides Kava, I'm buying Callaway as well. I think you're right, so I'm jealous of you. At $6 a share compared to the $35 it was 4 years ago. And I think the golf markets in general have been doing great. I mean, Titleist, you're right, has been growing 140% over the last 4 years. So the golf market in general is hot. I think they just had some issues with their dual business with Topgolf, like you said. and I think they're correcting that, and I think it's a great time to buy. But I'm jealous of yours. So anybody listening, I know we've had some good comments from Schmitty and from some other listeners, and so anybody who has a preferred stock to add, make a comment in our comment section, and we'll reference your stock next week. Otherwise, we'll see how our game turns out this week. Anything else, Dave? Otherwise, thanks for listening.
Yeah, I think that's all. Thanks for y'all listening. Bye.